Hello and welcome back. I'm sorry I didn't get a video up yesterday. I had a few little problems and some things I had to take care of for Christmas. So I thought today we would start working on the little mouse's bed for her bedroom. So let's get going. I've cut some pieces out of cardstock and that's what I'm going to be using. Also, I have got these, they were for a staircase, mule posts, and they weren't like what I thought they would be. So they won't work for that, for what I wanted them for. Whoops, sorry. And so, yeah, there they are. We'll be using those. And I'm going to make it kind of based on like a Tudor style bed. So I'm just going to be gluing these pieces together. And I think this little bed's going to turn out super cute. So I've just sped this part up because it's just me gluing these pieces together. I should have had them already done before I started the video, but I didn't, and so you don't need to watch me glue, so I'll just speed the whole thing up here. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble the bed. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put some glue on the newel posts where I want the pieces of the cardstock to sit. And I'm just going to lay it down here and glue those pieces on. I'm just being very careful, making sure I get everything exactly where I want it, because I don't want, any funky looking pieces where it might be slanted down slightly or something. I want it nice and even for this little bed. And these will be the top rails. I'm planning on putting curtains on the side of the bed. I think that would be cute for our little mouse. So I've got those pretty much like I want them, so now I'm going to glue the bottom piece on. And I'm a little off camera here. Sorry about that. I'm just going to glue the ends and fit it in between. Just making sure the cardstock glued down good, and it did. So I don't really know why I was even doing that. When I'm videoing this, it's probably at least 12:30 at night. I got off work and came home, and it's like, since I didn't get the video up yesterday, I needed to get a video up for today, and so this goes on, this video, until about 2:30. I've got to work today and I get tomorrow off, so a lot of it will be devoted to getting ready for our family Christmas, because I have to work this weekend. And so I don't have a lot of time. And now I'm just putting the other side together, or the other side. And I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm taking my time so I get everything nice and even, lined up good. And I realize I'm down too close to the other part of the bed.
I'm really excited about this little bed. When you'll see it, you'll see it at the end of the video. All put together, set up nice and dry, and it is looking so cute. I don't know what I'm going to do for the headboard of this bed because of the way the newel posts are made. I may end up making a separate piece and just gluing that right to the wall of the little house and then setting the bed up against it. Just lining it up, making sure everything is nice and even and straight and where I want it so that it'll match up with the other part of the bed. I did choose to speed a lot of this video up because, and especially when we get onto the chair, because I think you've seen me make a chair before and there really wasn't anything, too much. It was just basically me upholstering the chair. You'll see when we get there. This video was going to end up extremely long if I didn't do the chair sped up a little bit. It was over an hour and I didn't want to do that. So now what I've decided to do is I'm going to glue the ends of the bed in. So I'm just putting some glue on the side and I'm going to glue one piece to each of the side pieces right now. And I'm just going to wait till those dry good before we move on with assembling. I'm using some cheap Dollar Tree Legos just to kind of keep everything at a 90-degree angle. I'm not looking forward to driving to work today. The wind is gusting up to 30 plus miles an hour. We had a little bit of snow overnight, and so that wind is just going to be blowing the snow around. So I'll have to leave early and drive very slow because I'm sure there is ice out there on the road. South Dakota is great when it snows or there's wind blowing. They just suspend their winter maintenance and you drive in whatever's on the road. And it's just kind of how they are. If you hear any background noise, I believe it's probably someone with a snowblower. I don't have a snowblower, but our neighbor up on the corner is very good. He cleans the whole sidewalk from corner to corner, and he usually comes and cleans my little sidewalk up to my steps. So it's very, very nice of him. And I usually try to give him something for it, although he doesn't want to take anything. Now here's the piece of foam core that I'm using for the where the mattress is going to sit on. This will never show, so it doesn't bother me at all to use foam core. And it makes a nice sturdy base for our mattress. So I'm just putting some glue onto that, and in a minute here I'll be gluing the little bed together. In a little bit I'll probably, okay, so I decided I'm going to zoom in and I'll be a little bit off camera. I've made some marks on the little bed where I need this to sit so that everything will look right. And I saw that I forgot to leave room on the end where the cardstock is going to be, and I cut the foam core a little too long, so that was me trimming that out of there. And I realized when I went to put it together that I'd glued both of the pieces to the, I glued them to the same part so they wouldn't fit right. So I ended up taking that one off and putting it on this side of the bed. And now I'm just going to glue the other side of the bed on. And I am off camera, but I really need to see those little marks I put on there because, I don't want my mattress having to downhill slant. I'm not sure what happened there. But here it is with the little part that's going to hold the mattress in. And then I start worrying. Is it even? Is it really even? And I mean, I know it is. I know everything's right. But, you know, you worry. It's like when you go home at night and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, did I give somebody their meds? I know that looks crooked, but yeah, the one newel post was where I pulled the piece loose was not sticking so good. So I do go back and re-glue that so everything gets nice and tight and firm. Okay, so now we are to the part where I'm going to put the end pieces in. And I was kind of amazed at myself because I actually cut these straight. I cut everything straight for this. Maybe I should do it all when I'm got home from work and I'm tired and sleepy. So I'm just putting some glue on the ends and a little bit over onto the board part. I'm calling it a board. And that way I can glue it to the newel post as well as glue it to the other piece of cardstock. I really don't want this bed falling apart. If you hear anything right now, it's the wind gusting out there. The drive to work is going to be pure hell. I'm not joking. I've driven in a lot of this stuff and it's not going to be fun. I'm going to leave early so I give myself plenty of time, because there will be drifts and there will be blowing snow, and there are a few places on the road that are just, you can't see anything when the snow is blowing. So any background noise you hear at this point is the blowing snow. I'm just gluing it down, making sure everything is absolutely lined up, because if it's not, it's gonna look really funny. And I don't want to have to take it apart again. So there, I'm just kind of showing you how it's looking with all the little pieces in. And we're all ready to go. And now I'm sitting here worrying about it again. That one piece was a little bit bowed. And I'm sitting here now going, oh my gosh, is this straight? Did I get everything lined up? But I decided that, yes, I've got everything lined up, and I'm just going to set it aside, not mess with it, and let it dry. So now we're going to start on the chair, and as I said, I've sped this part up. This video was extremely long, and really it's just covering. I've padded the back, and I padded the seat, and I put a little bit on the arms. So now I've got two pieces of foam core, and that's going to be the base of my chair the padded seat's going to sit on. And I'm covering this because I want the bottom of the chair to look nice as well as the rest of it. So I'm just going to apply glue all over it. And I've chosen a little plaid fabric for this. I thought it was really cute. I did not try to match the plaids at all. I could have, but I decided that wasn't really that important, and so I did not match the plaids. But I was amazed when I put the seat back, when I put the back of the chair on, the plaid in the seat and the back of the chair almost perfectly match. And I wasn't even trying. I do, though, from when I used to sew a lot and stuff, I do like matching plaids. And I know a lot of people who sew out there don't like it and probably think I'm crazy. I really get some satisfaction out of matching my plaids. So Yeah, I guess if I'm crazy, I'm crazy, but I like to match plaids. It was kind of hard for me doing this chair because I wasn't matching the plaids, and I'm like, oh, I should make that match. I should make that match. That would have taken a lot longer. So I'm just wrapping my fabric around my little seat part, and I'm clipping the corners. This is a technique I learned from someone who isn't doing miniature videos right now. Her channel is called Maker of Miniature Modern Art, and she's very, very good. And I wish she was doing miniatures on here again. So now I'm just doing the arm, and I'm basically wrapping a strip of the plaid fabric around the whole outside of the arm, and I'm just clipping the corners so I can turn them. But I find out on the second one I don't really need to do that because I'm not turning that much over. I slightly patted the little arms up toward the top and over the top. And so now I'm just doing that and just trimming off some of this fabric frays a lot, so I'm just trimming off some stuff there. And now I'm just doing the same to the other side. I'm just turning those edges, because what I choose to do with the arms is I know that the glue is going to hold the fabric down, so I didn't bother turning the edges over. I just glued them straight down. And this is me, I'm just doing the second arm. And so when I put the fabric over the top, I just glue it right to the edge of the chair arm. There, I finally thought to zoom in again so you didn't have to see my mess. And so this is, I'm just poking it down. This is where I realized I didn't really need to clip those corners because I wasn't, turning very much. So I just went ahead and just pushed them down, and that worked out just fine. So I'm probably going to be a little off camera on this part, I think, because this is where, this is where I'm covering the seat. Okay. I guess I left the arms like that and did them afterwards. So again, just the same process, just pulling it up, gluing all four sides, making my corners nice and tight because of the way I do them. And I do have a video on here where I show some of my upholstery techniques. If you ever care to go watch that one, I do have some good tips for especially doing the curves on furniture when applying fabric and that. And so yeah, so here's my little seat, and I decide, okay, right now we're going to glue this on here, and then I'm just testing out the arms to see how that's going to go. And then I'm covering the back of the chair, and I kind of haphazardly did this one, but I knew that what I was doing would work out, so pulling up the bottom, and now I'm just pulling the sides and getting those corners just like I did on the other parts. And now I'm clipping the rounded part up on top of the chair, and I'm trying to watch what I'm doing, so I'm a little off camera. And now I'm making little notches in the top so that it'll fold over nicely, and it does. I was really pleased with the fact that the fabric was sticking to the tacky glue so well. And I'm off camera right now, but I'm just doing my corners and stuff, making sure everything is turned nicely. So I apologize for being off camera here. So there's a little chair back, that's the back of it. Turned nicely, there's the front laying there, and then it's just a matter of covering this part, which I'm going to glue over the back of the chair so it all looks nice. So again, I'm close, but it's because I'm clipping, and I'm clipping those little notches out of there, and I want to make sure I don't clip too deep because I don't want any of the cardstock showing through. I always usually start either at the bottom, or I start by gluing the rounded edge. making sure I have plenty of fabric to do all of it. And this doesn't matter if the sides are, one side's, you know, narrower than the other, because this is glued to the back of the chair and it will never show. So I'm just kind of, okay, now I'm doing the arms. And I am off camera because I need to clip. I made one end slanted so the chair would just kind of lean back a little bit. So I'm trying to get that all cut right now. And so now I'm just putting glue around the edges. And I start at the bottom of the arm, and yeah, I'm off camera. And that's because I was trying to get the edges of the fabric lined up since I didn't turn them over, but I knew the glue would hold them and keep them from fraying. So that's what I'm doing here. Just sticking it down and making sure everything is laying nice and flat and all of my edges are evened up. I had to clip a little bit on that one, and so I'm just picking out one little frayed thing that was on there, and now I'm just kind of fitting it up to the back of the chair, making sure my fit is still good. And I'm just kind of showing you there a little bit that it fit good, but I know you really couldn't see that. So now I'm just doing the other part, and I believe I cut that out because I realized, is this where I realized I didn't have enough fabric? Or was this after? I can't remember if this was after I realized I didn't have enough fabric, or if this was after I did and I already cut it. So just going down around my edges on one side. I always start by tucking just a little bit under the bottom. Not very much, but just a bit. It won't show when the chair is assembled anyway. But I like to know that everything is covered up nicely. So now I'm just wrapping it around, keeping it as close to the edge, and that's why I did that. Keeping it as close to that edge as I can get it. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm back. That's where I discovered I didn't have enough fabric, and I had to cut another piece. So I'll do this again. Or no, I must have lost that part or cut that part out here. Okay, so here, excuse me, here I am gluing the little seat cushion onto its base so we can get this little chair put together. And I realized I had just a bit of the corner sticking out there, so I cut that off, and making sure it's all nice and even on there. I think it's so cute. I love that plaid. It's not a Christmassy color, but that wasn't the idea. The idea is the mouse's house and then decorating it for Christmas. So I'm just kind of fitting the arm up there to see how that's going to go. And try to move that little seat part just a bit before I glue the arms on. It wasn't quite straight. So now I'm matching the arm up there, and I should have zoomed in on this. I didn't think to. It was probably about 2 o'clock when I finally got to this stage of this whole process. So I'm applying the glue, sticking it onto the side of the chair, making sure that the back is lined up nicely. And now I'm just going to glue the other one, get that on there. Just holding it for a little bit so that glue grabs, and now we're going to put the little back on. I'm sorry about the mess, guys. I had so much stuff up for this project. I wasn't sure what I was going to use, so there's bunches of fabric over there and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of a mess at this point. So now I'm just putting the back on the chair, making sure it's got that proper slant backwards that I wanted. And so now I'm just putting it down, and I'm gonna just stick some things up there kind of to hold it. Don't need a lot. But you can see my back wants to lean away, so there comes the Diamond Glaze to the rescue. So I'm gonna leave that to dry, and I will show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so here we go, and I'm showing you this chair. This part of the video was not supposed to be sped up, but I know it looks like it is, and I think it was. I think my editor messed up, but anyway, here's our little chair, and I will see you tomorrow with another part of our little mouse's house. Thank you for joining me.